Hi, cities. How are you doing? Welcome to Nine and Sim. Thank you so much for the support. Hope you all are doing great. So I came across this video, and you know what? A very big shout out to all the content creators that put all this together because they really did a great job, right? Talking about woke and how see black people as woke. And now DEI at the same time, for those that think that DEI is not something everybody should be included in, you are also part of the problem. I don't care where you are from. I don't care where you are, right? Now, let me say this, at some point, they know that, they cannot use the N word on people that look like me, and they switched over to woke. At some point, you and I know the meaning of woke, right? And at some point, they felt like we cannot use this words. Let's continue to use woke. And they found out that we knew that they called black people woke, right? And then they switched over to DEI. DEI also means black or N-word to them. Now let's get into this. We also will be talking about the stolen black contributions, all the inventors, what they invented and how they stole them from black people. And at the same time, how some businesses, especially, and Asian stores and all that, how they have been scamming black people. And the truth is that I am a very big, I am so much big when it comes to patronizing black businesses. Do not spend your black dollar where you are not wanted. Make sure you spend it wisely in black stores so black dollars can stay in black community. Let's get into this video.
The term wokeness carries vastly different meanings depending on who's using it and the context in which it's applied. So how would you say black people define wokeness? I can say for many black people, wokeness is a state of being aware. Not only aware, but informed. And with that information, being vigilant. And we're not just vigilant about anything in particular. It's mainly about systemic oppression. We focus on social injustices. And we don't only do this for ourselves, we usually focus on historical and ongoing struggles of other marginalized groups. But particularly if we're talking about the black community and we're focused on the black community, it's about cultural consciousness, right? It's about understanding and appreciating the context of racial inequality. And not only racial inequality, but its impact on present day. For black men and women, it's about social responsibility. It's about advocating for justice and equality, not only for black people, but for all communities that are oppressed. And because black people are woke and aware, as they call it, we understand the mission at hand. This builds up resistance and empowerment. Black people collectively will use that knowledge to challenge systems of oppression, which in turn lifts up black voices and hopefully foster a community of solidarity. Wokeness is part of being accountable for black people. It's being aware of not only the external factors like white supremacy, but also understanding the own internal problems as well within our own communities. For example, colorism and economic disparities. I really believe that for black people, wokeness is a survival mechanism. It is a roadmap to empowerment. It is deeply rooted in lived experiences of injustice, making it a necessary tool for navigating and challenging systemic racism. Now, let's talk about how white America tries to define wokeness or wokeism. Now, in contrast, certain segments of white America, particularly conservative voices, have weaponized wokeness as a pejorative term. They seem to have redefined it as some sort of overreach or excess. They've seemed to take the term wokeness from the black community and framed it as this extreme political correctness or hypersensitivity, basically saying that it stifles free speech or creativity. It's really become this catch-all for all progressive policies. They've been able to use the term wokeness to dismiss or discredit diversity, equity, and inclusion as divisive or unnecessary. If that wasn't enough, they just used mockery or fear-mongering, painting wokeness as an ideology that forces people to feel guilty. If not guilty, then ashamed of their privilege, or as a form of virtue signaling as detached from reality. So basically, this redefinition trivializes the term, stripping it of its historical and cultural significance. This basically takes the term woke and turns it into a buzzword used to attack any group or person advocating for social change. And it effectively undermines any legitimate discussions about inequality. So at the end, I feel like there's a disconnect. The tension lies in the fact that while Black people view wokeness as a pathway to empowerment and justice, certain groups will co-opt the term to ridicule or dismiss these same efforts. It's a textbook example of cultural appropriation, taking a term with deep roots in the Black liberation movement and twisting it as a caricature to serve a reactionary agenda. In essence, for Black people, wokeness is about awareness and action. For white America, as defined by detractors, it's a convenient scapegoat to resisting change. The real challenge lies in reclaiming and protecting the term's integrity from those very people who seek to dilute it.
DEI and believing that it allows unqualified Black people to get roles without ever even looking up what it actually is, that's what makes you racist. You're willing to believe something so absurd because it confirms a bias that you already had. You're willing to believe Black children could only be successful in education because of affirmative action, although less than 15% of students from racially marginalized groups, not just Black children, but less than 15% of students from all racially marginalized groups attended schools that even utilized affirmative action. But you were willing to believe that because it just gave justification for your already existent bigotry. America is who America has always been, just more well hidden, although the cover is starting to come off. As the aphorist Stanislaw Jersey Lex said, "Is it progress if a cannibal eats with a fork?" That's how I picture the United States.
They're out here scamming the Black community, and we're going to count all of the ways. The following facts were gathered by the FTC, which stands for the Federal Trade Commission, which exists to technically protect all American consumers. But from their own fact gathering, they found that actually Black consumers are the most targeted group in America, and nothing is being done about it. They told on themselves. I hope y'all picking up what I'm putting down, because my time on here is very limited. So share this information with anybody you think needs it. Let us count the ways in which we are targeted as consumers. Way number one, predatory lending and payday loans. We all know that there's a payday loan on every other corner in the Black community. Payday lenders target Black communities, offering short-term, high-interest loans that are difficult to repay. It's nearly impossible to repay. These lenders often market themselves as a quick solution for urgent financial needs, but trap borrowers into cycles of debt due to exorbitant fees and interest rates. The impact for us over time is that this leads to financial instability, credit score damage, and in many cases, borrowers having to take out more loans to pay off the previous ones, keeping us in this cycle. Way number two, home ownership and mortgage scams. Example, during the housing crisis of 2008, Black homeowners were disproportionately targeted by subprime mortgage lenders who offered them loans that they couldn't afford. These loans were often accompanied by high interest rates and hidden fees, which led to foreclosure for many individuals in the community. This not only caused financial loss, but also led to the erosion of wealth in Black communities, as home ownership is a key method for building what? Generational wealth. Way number three, debt collection scams. Scammers often target Black individuals by impersonating debt collectors or government agencies, threatening arrest or legal action if debts are not paid. These scams often rely on fear and misinformation to pressure people into making payments. Victims may end up paying fraudulent debt collectors and may suffer damage to their credit scores or face other financial consequences. Way number 4, auto loans. Black buyers are often charged higher interest rates on car loans, even when they have similar credit scores to white buyers. This practice is known as redlining or discriminatory lending. This can lead to black consumers paying more for cars than they would if treated fairly. Over time, the extra interest payments add up, making it harder for black consumers to save or build what? Wealth. Man, I hope y'all picking up what I'm putting down. Way number 5, insurance scams and overcharging. Scammers often prey on the black community by offering fake or substandard insurance policies, particularly in health or auto insurance. In some cases, individuals are overcharged for legitimate services or charged for services they did not receive. These types of scams can lead individuals without the coverage they need or burden them with unexpected financial strain. Way number 6, getting a loan, period. Studies have shown that black individuals are more likely to be denied loans or credit cards, even when their financial situation is comparable to that of white applicants. In some cases, financial institutions may engage in racially biased decision-making or impose higher fees. And who's there to stop them? Well, it's supposed to be the FTC, but they also gathered this information, which leads me to believe that they're not doing their job very well when it comes to black folk. The impact of this: black consumers may face more difficulty accessing what? Capital for business ventures, home ownership, and other economic opportunities, perpetuating the racial wealth gap. Way number 7 hits me real hard. Student loan scams. Fraudulent companies that target black students or graduates, promising to help reduce or eliminate their student loan debt in exchange for an upfront fee. Don't fall for it. These companies often do not provide any legitimate services. Victims are financially harmed by paying for services that don't exist, leaving them with even more debt than before. The whole system is in place to make sure you're at the bottom of it in every instance. And they gather the facts to prove what I'm saying. Can you imagine the audacity of doing something to a group of people and then literally making those facts public because no one else cares what happens to black people? Way number 8, the last way: discriminatory business practices. Some businesses may engage in discriminatory practices by inflating prices or providing substandard service to black customers. For example, black customers may receive worse service in stores, restaurants, etc., and be given inaccurate information or charged higher prices for the same product or services. And of course, this leads to financial exploitation and a breakdown of trust in businesses and institutions, which make it harder for black communities to access fair and affordable goods and services. Once you've been treated this way, never go to that business again, and spread the word to as many black folk as you can. That's why we're out here saying buy black. If they're not going to respect you, don't give them your money. If they don't respect you, don't ask them no questions. They're not going to tell you the truth. They're not treating you fairly. You know it. You feel it. You see it. They want it to be easy to come to them. They want it to be as easy as possible for you to come to them. Sometimes you got to do the hard things to make things better for yourself and for your people. We have to take control of our destiny and understand that none of these systems are in place to protect us. We have to protect ourselves. I love you, black man. I love you, black woman. Knowledge is power, and power will go to our people. Here are the facts behind who created race and why. The idea of race was shaped by, guess who? White people. During the Enlightenment period, scholars like Carl Linnaeus and Johann Friedrich Blumenbach began categorizing humans into different races based upon physical traits. These classifications were later used to support ideas of racial superiority and inferiority, often justifying colonialism, slavery, and discrimination. European colonial powers used racial classifications to legitimize the enslavement of African people and the subjugation of indigenous peoples in the Americas and Africa. By creating a racial hierarchy, they justified the exploitation of these groups and reinforced the idea that people of European descent were superior, which we all know are laughable lies. The creation and maintenance of racial categories were often driven by the need to justify social hierarchy, legal systems, and the economic systems like slavery and apartheid. For example, the U.S. legal system institutionalized race through laws that separated people based on their skin color and denied rights to black people. It's funny, whenever black folks start talking about unity, it is seen as a threat. Everyone comes out of the woodwork to tell us that we're being racist or not inclusive, disregarding the fact that black folks are the ones at the bottom of every race pyramid, created by white people. Every culture except ours unites to build power in their communities. Shame on you for attempting to center yourself in our struggle. Global black unity is coming, and I assure you, there is nothing you can do about it. I love you, black man. I love you, black woman. Knowledge is power. Power to the people. Many black inventors face challenges in reaping the financial benefits of their inventions due to systemic racial discrimination that hindered their access to resources, capital, and patents. Large corporations or government agencies often reap the profits of these black inventions. George Washington Carver discovered over 300 uses for peanuts, including peanut butter. His greatest contribution was in agriculture innovation, especially rotation techniques for cotton farmers. However, Carver did not patent most of his discoveries, and he worked primarily to help farmers. He made very little money from his inventions, while larger white-owned farms reaped the financial benefit of his discoveries, creating generational wealth for their families because they had the capital to take advantage of his discoveries. Next up, we have Garrett Morgan. He invented the traffic signal, the red light, green light, yellow light, slow down, and the gas mask. Morgan sold his patent for the traffic signal to the General Electric Company, so they reaped the financial benefits from the mass production and adoption of the invention, creating what? More generational wealth for white families instead of black ones. Morgan's gas mask was used in World War I, and he started his own business making and selling it, but still benefiting little financially because bigger companies came in and mass produced them. Next up, we have Lewis Latimer. He invented the carbon filament for light bulbs and the process for manufacturing them, which improved the lifespan of electric light bulbs. Although Latimer made important contribution to Thomas Edison's light bulb, he did not personally benefit from the invention. He worked as a patent draftsman and engineer for Edison and other companies, but much of the financial gain went to the companies that used his patents because he didn't have the resources or capital to use them himself and build what? Generational wealth. Next, Granville T. Woods invented the multiplex telegraph, an early version of wireless communication that allowed multiple messages to be sent over the same wire. A black man, okay? You texting? Black man invented that. Woods received patents for several of his inventions, but often struggled with patent infringement cases because they came after him for his inventions. Many of his inventions were used by larger companies, such as General Electric, which exploited his ideas without giving him significant financial compensation, and he didn't have the money to fight back. Next, we have Marie Van Britten Brown, who invented the home security system, including a camera, monitor, and remote control door lock. Brown patented the invention in 1966, but her financial gains were limited. The patent was sold to a larger company that developed the home security industry further. Because why? Because they had more capital, more resources. As with many black inventors, she did not see substantial long-term financial rewards for her patent for her inventions. So another opportunity for generational wealth lost. Denied by who? Anybody? Anybody got a guess? Right. Next we have Dr. Patricia Bath, who invented the laser phaco probe, an innovative technology that revolutionized eye surgery. While her invention significantly improved cataract treatment, she did not personally profit as much as she should have. The technology was widely adopted in the medical field, but much of the financial reward went to the medical institutions and companies that had the money and resources to implement the technology worldwide. I hope y'all picking up what I'm putting down. Next, we have Otis Boykin. He invented the improved resistor used in electronic devices such as computers, guided missiles, and pacemakers. Boykin did patent his innovations, but he did not receive large-scale financial rewards. His work was incorporated into products by larger companies, which profited from the widespread use of his inventions, particularly in the electronics and defense sectors. Another lost opportunity for generational wealth for Black families. Next up, we have John P. Parker, who made improvements to the industrialized furnace. Parker's contributions were significant in the industrial field, but like many Black inventors, he did not fully benefit from the financial rewards. His work was used by larger companies, so once again, no generational wealth gained. That gain went to white-owned companies. Next up, we have Henry Sampson, who invented the gamma electric cell, a technology used in the development of portable power sources such as batteries. While Sampson did not receive a significant financial windfall from his invention, surprise, surprise, he was instrumental in the development of battery technology. However, much of the economic benefits went to corporations and the military that adopted this technology. So once again, no generational wealth gained for Black families. I hope you picked up the importance of building Black capital and resources so our future patents and trademark opportunities for generational wealth cannot so easily be stolen from us. I hope you also picked up on the fact that this type of information is not taught in our schools because they don't want our Black children to know what they're capable of by learning about these real-life Black inventors, these amazing Black examples. They also don't want their children to know about our Black contributions because then they would know where their family money really came from. I love y'all, and I'll see y'all in the next one. Knowledge is power. Power to the people.
This is all I got from this video, and shout out to everybody that I took their video. Absolutely, they did a great job. That beautiful Black woman, she really did put in so much work to put all this together. Very big shout out and kudos to every one of them. Now let's get into this video. You all already know how big I am when it comes to shopping Black business, supporting Black business and all that, and enough of keeping our Black dollar in other communities, because the people you are giving your dollars, how much do they appreciate that money? How much do they respect you? Like she said, do not spend your money where you are not wanted. Make sure you spend your money where you are wanted, right? Most of these organizations or stores where Black people put in their money. I mean, how do you pay or buy things from where you go to and people follow you around because they think you are going to run away with the store, or you finish shopping and they call the cops on you? Why? Because they feel like, how can you afford all this? You know, stories, I have brought so many video stories have been told and all that, how Black people are being treated in some stores. Asian stores, and many of them. So what are you as a Black person doing to stop all this? Are you still giving them your money? Are you still going where you are not wanted? Are you still going where you are being disrespected? Right? Now, I remember there is a video. Okay, I did not bring that video here. Yesterday, I came across a beautiful Black young lady. I think she was planning a trip and she went to Lululemon to buy clothes, right? She bought all she bought, paid for it. About leaving the store, straight up racial profile. And they need to cross check everything that, okay, they started by telling her that she stole from the store. She was really mad. Do I blame her? I do not blame her for being mad. Why do I blame her? I blame her because she knows Lululemon is very racist. This is not the first, the second, or the third time. I have brought so many videos of people in Lululemon being racially profiled, and people are still going there. There are some places you will never catch me going, and I have my reasons. Because you cannot disrespect people that look like me, and you also, how am I sure that you are going to treat me any better? And then the white woman, the cop, and like, they were there questioning her. To my great surprise, they started cross-checking everything she got. Why? Because they felt like she stole them, you know? And eventually, when they finished, she told them, I do not want them anymore. She also did a good job by dumping all that and she asked for a refund. Now, the reality is that we keep talking about ending racism. We keep talking about there are some people that call themselves ally. You hear them, you see them. They do not pick all these kind of videos up to look for a way to stop racism or this racial profiling that are being done to people that look like me. They absolutely ignore it. That reminds me, I think there is a march coming up in January. Excuse me. Coming up in January. Sister Tabitha has emphasized on that, and I am also saying it. I probably will link a video that will tell you about the march. Please stay back in your houses, And the people that are coming are calling you to come out and march because, I think it's women thing and all that. We never stand up for you. They always look for a way to benefit them, but how it to benefit us is not what they want. So when you're done marching with them, they go back to their houses and do the worst again, because the last one, the one they did, it has not even started choking them already. But you all can see the effects that it is marinating. Right? Now, let me say this again. Race, we did not invent race and we did not create race. This was what they used to make themselves feel better. And I really do hope that they are feeling better. Now, let me run to the young man that talked about woke and the one that talked about DEI quickly. The reality is that anybody that does not believe in DEI as Black, brown, or white person, you are a racist. You are also part of the problem. You are also prejudiced. You are everything, right? If you are part of the people that do not think DEI is something that is very important, you are part of the problem. I say what I say, right? And for the man that talked about woke, shout out to him. Now, the truth is that at some point we became woke, right? No, not like they started calling Black people woke. That is a new N word for those that do not know. For those, I am sure we all know the meaning of woke and the rest of it. And they at some point felt like we cannot use the N word, let's switch to woke. And then from woke, they switched to DEI. When they call you woke or they call you DEI, they are calling you N-word. You heard me right. But we all already know the meaning of woke for us. We cannot continue to teach them. I am going to run. See you all in my next video. Bye for now.